Hi. Hey, today's a beautiful day. It's around 70 degrees in Dallas, Texas. And I just went for a 1 hour walk, and boy, do I feel great. I'm so proud of myself for keeping the promise to myself that from now on, I'm going to stick to my daily task of doing meditation at least for a half hour and walking at least for a half hour from now on, and doing my daily tasks as Mike Hobbs showed us in his video. And he was going to do a video for 20 videos a month, and he multiplied it by the number of by 12 times 20, or something like that. Okay, anyway, how can it be 20? Yeah, 5 videos a week, which would bring to 20 videos, 20 videos a month. Or if you took 5 videos a week and multiplied it by 52 weeks, that would come to about 250, no, 260 videos in a year. And that was his goal. So I thought, hey, I'm doing videos too. Only thing is that my topic is surrounded around personal development. And mainly I am doing this just to share my thoughts, about spirituality, or whatever comes to my mind, really. So today I was thinking about belief. There's a lot of talk around belief and manifesting through your thoughts, and believing in being able to manifest by what you think, whether it is positive or negative. So I started thinking about faith, and you hear this word a lot about having faith in God. So I said, okay, to me, when I looked up the meaning of the dictionary meaning of the word belief, the faith, it said belief in yourself, or belief in a God, a religious belief in God. So basically, when you say you must have faith in God, we are saying have belief in God. Now, who is God? We don't know who God is, but we believe that there is a God. So we start off with the premise that there is a God out there. So, and so faith is more often used in the context of God, but we also use the belief in a principle, or in a possibility, or in yourself. I find that very interesting, because how do you know there is a God and yet you believe in God? Is there really a God? So let us examine that concept. Why do we believe that there is a God out there, separate from us, and therefore we think that entity called God out there, it has the power to do anything and everything that we pray for? So how do we prove that there is a God out there? So that is the unknown, and we cannot approach the unknown without a reference point. You need a reference point. So let us start with the known, what we do know, and see, like a mathematical solution, see if it proves a theory that there is a God out there. And if so, who exactly do we mean by God? So I started thinking like this, or rather, I was listening to the Upanishadic discussions about the same, how they came about the concept of God. And so, let's see. Let us take what we see around us and break it down to its basic elements. So we see people around us, they are living on the earth, so we know there is an earth. And then if we start questioning the root cause of the formation of the earth, then we realize that it is formed from the water element. When water solidified, it became the earth. That's why 3/4 of the earth is really water, and so parts of it got solidified and then formed the land. So what is the root cause of water? And the Upanishads teach us that the root cause of water is fire. And there is an element of fire in the water. But what is the cause of the fire element? The root cause of the fire element is air, because air, there is fire. There is fire in a very subtle form in air. So what is the root cause of air? And they said root cause of air is the sky. And because air, you cannot, you can feel it, but you cannot touch it, you cannot, but you know it is there. And so what is the root cause of air is the sky, because where is the air? It is in space, and we are calling that space as the sky. Then the next possible question to ask is, what is the root cause of the sky? And that's where we have to come to a stop and say, well, who is saying there is a sky? That is the root cause of the sky. Whoever says there is a sky. And so I say there is a sky. You say there is a sky. You say I see the sky, and I say I see the sky. So the root cause of the sky is the I. And that I is common to all of us, because we all identify ourselves with the I. So what is the root cause of the I? And you cannot go any further than that, because that is the basic cause for everything. So I am the cause for all that I see and all that is manifested. So now we have to understand what this I is, and so I'll say, who are you? And you say, I am. And I say, prove it. And you say, I don't have to prove it to you that I am, because I know I am existing. And therefore, that's exactly where we have to stop. And you don't need any more proof beyond that. So what is this I? And I am, if you were not existing, you could not say, I am. So the I am is the part of existence. And I relates to the consciousness that is aware of its own existence. So that's how the biblical word also came about, I am. When Jesus said, I am the way, he did not mean his physical form or his physical name, the name that he was identified with. It is not that he is referring to, but he's referring to the I am concept, which is consciousness is the I, and existence is the other part of the same consciousness. And when I say other part of the same consciousness, I mean that consciousness is formless, but it has no form. And everybody has to agree that it has no form, but it is still there. And it is the same with existence. If you removed all the objects that you see, for instance, you could see maybe a pen like this. And if I destroyed it, I'm still seeing the space. The pen itself is destroyed, but I still see the space. So when you remove all these objects, then you only see space. And that is existence. So existence is always there, it is formless, and consciousness is always there, it is formless. So when there are two formless, you cannot have two formless, so it is one and the same thing. And that's how the concept of Shiva and Shakti came about. Shiva represents consciousness and Shakti represents energy. And because it is through the will of the consciousness that existence comes about. And without existence, there is no consciousness. And therefore, we are all Shiva and Shakti. And so how do we manifest things is through the power of our thoughts. And there are many YouTube videos, and there is so much of it talked about in the law of attraction, that we attract things to us according to the thoughts that we entertain, whether it is positive or negative. So where am I going with this? I am trying to analyze the word belief. But we have said there is a God out there. But we have just shown that God is not out there. We have formed this concept that there is a God out there, and that out there is space. We think he's somewhere there, and we give it a form. Like in Hinduism, we give so many forms to that formless, and in the form of deities, and then worship that formless. And other religions also have a similar concept. Maybe they also worship either through the form, and when they have the form, they talk about the devotion. It's the path of devotion. You bring down the formless into a form, and then worship that form, and hopefully all your prayers reach the formless through that form. It's a beautiful concept, really. It's a path of devotion. But I have a problem with it because it is dualistic. Because I consider when I'm worshipping a formless with a form, then I am separating myself. Whereas I am part of that formless, because it all started, the root cause of everything that is existing is the I am. So in the Upanishads, they have taught us the unity of the consciousness that is individual and its identity with the universal consciousness. So it is something bigger than the individual consciousness. But when we contract our thinking into a form of a body and an entity as an individual, then we play this drama, and we have all these characters, and who was it? Somebody said that we are I think it was Bob Proctor, who said that we are the hero of our movie. And so why did he say that? We are the hero of the movie. Because everything that is being seen in the movie is through the eyes of the hero. You see? So therefore, we are the hero of our own movie. And okay, now I'm digressing. I just wanted to come back to that concept of the individual consciousness and the universal consciousness. Now, in the Upanishads, they have named Also, by the way, I wanted to point out the concept of this thinking stuff that is mentioned in Think and Grow Rich, or even the Science of Getting Rich. They have identified an intelligence, and that's why they call it thinking stuff. But in our Upanishads, they have actually talked about that the consciousness. They have named it, that thinking stuff, they've named it as consciousness. And they've called it Chetana or Atman, because that which when you keep on going backwards in deductive reasoning, you have to stop at the point of I. You cannot go any further than that. And they call that the Atman, and they have identified it with Brahman. Now, and Brahman is also consciousness, but it is on a universal scale. And so that is the thinking stuff that was referred to in the Science of Getting Rich, or the Think and Grow Rich. And that is intelligence, and it is expansive. It keeps expanding. And that is why it is called Brahman. And Brahman, Brihat, I'm not clear about that. I need to get back and clarify that. So they called it Brahman. It's big, and it is the smallest of the smallest and biggest of the biggest. That is how it is defined, Brahman. And that is the reason why they've also said you are not a drop in the ocean, but you're I forgot that. What is that? A drop in the ocean, an ocean in the drop. You're not the drop in the ocean, but you're the ocean in the drop. And that reminds me of that mantra, which is Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Mevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This is the Shanti mantra. And that is saying that there is so much of fullness, and even if you take out a drop from it, there is no dearth in it. You see, there is fullness, that ocean, the drop in the ocean. We are the drop of that ocean, but we are not just a drop, we are the ocean itself. It's a very beautiful concept, if you can understand. And through this reasoning process that I have discussed. So, being a part of that ocean, or that ocean is a part of you, and that consciousness. So you have the individual consciousness and the universal consciousness. And you can see the identity between the two. And therefore we say you need to experience the oneness of God. So now where am I leading with this belief? Okay, now let's come back to belief. What is the magic of believing? What is the magic of believing? So, if you can have belief, if you can have faith in God, and you know that you're part of God, it's really belief. You can do anything with that understanding and surrendering to that power of the universal consciousness, and believing that whatever is happening for our good, and God manifests through us what we desire. And so faith and belief is very important. I would rather use faith in one word, and that is belief. A lot of people want to talk about faith as if it's a religious belief. It's okay. But I just wanted to give my explanation, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it and share it. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.